it's time for Measure Twice.
Hello, welcome to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We are brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything doors, countertops, cabinets, and more. Located right next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. I gotta, today's subject is something we talk about a lot, but I think it's the most talked about thing in remodeling and fixing up your place or changing not just your kitchen but your bathroom, but countertops. And I saw something that kind of blew my mind, and it won't blow your mind. Okay, I'm gonna say it, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh,
Chris did it last week.
Every 10 seconds we do this thing." So where have you been, Rob? I've been busy. That's the answer. Okay, but I saw. Well, I'll just get your reaction. A waterfall. Right? When we say waterfall,
Countertop continues over the edge to the floor.
Okay. And that's kind of like a thing now. Was that always a thing?
No.
Is that relatively new?
15, 20 years maybe?
More? I mean, in the big picture, it's kind of, I guess, new.
Yeah.
It got more popular in the last
5 to 10 years, probably, because it's more contemporary.
I like the way it looks.
Yep.
It's a cool look.
Yep.
Does it have any negative impact on the kitchen?
No.
I couldn't.
You're just using more countertop material.
You're using more material. It's a little bit more expensive, and it's not usable, so to speak, because it's perpendicular with the ground. But it looks cool. I think it's really neat. Do people use different? Do they always match it? Can you have a waterfall where the part that goes to the ground is a different color granite?
Oof.
I suppose you could, but I've never seen that done.
I mean,
in my mind's eye, that wouldn't look that great, but
same here.
Until
again, it could.
Until it does.
Until it does.
Yeah.
Until it does. Or have you seen I saw this when I went back home. It was a waterfall, the whole not the usable side of the sink side of the island, but it was waterfall all the way around. It's like somebody was like, we're gonna just make
all the way around, all four sides.
Like a granite box.
3 sides.
3 sides. 3 sides, not
the island. I was gonna say all the way around.
No, yeah, it was just. It looked like a monolith in there. It was just a granite. It was actually a tomb. No, because that's what it would look like to me.
Yes.
I mean, it was okay. I didn't love it because you can't sit there.
Yeah, you can't pull up to it and really.
It was just a classic case of I think somebody going over the top, because that's some of those houses, at the along the shore on the East Coast.
So you're just letting yourself in?
No, I mean, I have friends there. And,
okay.
Yeah, I'm just hello there. I'd like to survey your kitchen.
I'm here for a vacation. I just want to checking out houses.
No, I grew up there. I know all kinds of people. And
so this is somebody you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got he was the guy that we talked about so many years ago who had the service elevator. He had a real service elevator put in his house. Because everybody was getting older. And he was going to put a regular elevator in, and the builder, I thought the builder was just selling him a bill of goods, and you guys were like, no, that makes sense. He's put a service style one in, because then you can move furniture or, it's a little bit more money, but in the long run, and then they're easier to upkeep actually because they're hardier equipment. But that's that guy. And I don't like his kitchen, I thought it looked weird. It looked like a tomb. That's why I said that. Because it was just the 3 sides of granite, and you have to stand.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Very contemporary look.
And it's a very contemporary looking house. But I didn't even want to talk about that. But his house is pretty cool. It overlooks the ocean. And his idea was, the ocean takes everything. Eventually, Mother Nature reclaims. There's nothing you can do about it. You can do whatever you think will keep Mother Nature out. It's coming.
Yeah.
Unless you're a lighthouse, built like a lighthouse, what are you going to do? Lake Michigan doesn't really have that. right? I mean, Lake Michigan doesn't have a storm come out and wipe out,
right? Yeah.
No.
Neighborhoods.
It does have erosion though.
Erosion. This is like, big hurricane. There used to be a neighborhood there. Now it's not.
Right.
Now it's. So his whole house is brick, like not brick, but like industrial brick, and he's got it refaced. So if you look behind, like
cinder block,
yeah, his whole
real watertight.
Well, it is for a minute.
Yeah.
When the storm surge comes in, it is. I'm sure it's sealed. Maybe it's not cinder block. I don't know. He said it's just brick. It might be slabs, but I think you could run a bulldozer into this house and I might bounce off of it. It's pretty sturdy. At any rate, I thought it looked weird. Then on TV, I saw a house that had the waterfall and they matched the grain of the granite.
Yeah, the bookend. Well, that's not necessarily bookend, but
like it went down.
Yep.
But you could see the vein and it matched.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not in the business, so I'm like, I never thought of that. Do you have to do that?
It's nice if you can.
Yeah, for sure.
So that
looks good.
So it's a continuous line. It doesn't break at where it waterfalls.
Right. And it was like the waterfall, like.
Yeah. You want to kind of match that if you can. And always do it, depending on your material.
So, Chris, if you have like one of those prominent veins that runs through, you're thinking of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can lay that out.
And match
for
that,
sure.
You betcha. Follow that grain pattern.
And I'm assuming it's not that complicated, right? Because you can cut it there and you just.
It can be complicated, depending on where that falls in your slab. Because you might have addition. If you say, "Hey, I want that vein to flow all the way down," and it's in the middle of a slab, and you might have to end up using more material to make that work.
Yeah,
got to think those things through.
So, but when are you thinking that through? Like at the place that you're buying the granite, like on the spot.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to go, oh, you're here to install. I want that matched. It's like, kind of late.
Yeah.
Wow. How many waterfalls are you doing? Is it everybody or is it?
No, it's not everybody. Not everybody's look.
Right.
They're not super common, I wouldn't say.
No, we've done quite a few, but again, it's because of the more modern design for the house.
Yeah,
and we typically only do it on one end. Typically,
right?
Versus
right.
You can do it on both.
Oh, I could see that, I suppose. But you definitely want to. I don't know. In my mind, you want to sit at an island, but you want to be able to sit there. But I guess that's not always the case.
Not always.
It's just my.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where my mind goes too. But, yeah. I saw one recently where in the area that the house is for sale. Same thing. There's no place to put up. They've got stools pushed right up to the island. There's no overhang, so
your knees you gotta
you gotta
forward.
It's not going to be a comfortable sit. But again, they went for a look.
Right. They're not look. I could have whatever look I want. I'm having people over tonight. People will be around the island. I have to shoo them away. That's just where they go.
Natural.
Yeah, that's where they're going to go. And I don't have a palatial. It's just
the hub of the house. That's where everybody hangs out.
I can't even put food there now because I feel like it's weird. Because I would put out food there for people are coming over buffet style. And I'm like, I can't because people just sit there and talk over the food. Right, it kind of grosses me out. Honestly, that's why I can't. I want to cover.
Sneeze in there.
Yeah, I'm I got to move this over here. You're in and out over the food. Don't hang.
Yeah.
Move along. Move along. But that's in my head. Okay. But it's so much so that I'm when I saw the one that had the 3 sides, I'm like, who's going to hang out there? I bet they still do, though. They just stand. IKEA will come up with a leaning stool. I love mentioning IKEA to you. It's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so what I saw that was kind of crazy to me. So going from the waterfall look, the counter, and then the granite went up the wall. I don't know, take that in.
And I'll say that again.
A full height backsplash off of that then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I've seen everything.
You can't stump the band there.
No, you can't stump.
Now we're taking it a step farther, and we're doing
On the ceiling?
No, taking the same material up the back of the back and making it a sliding panel for their storage underneath it, behind it.
All right, well, look, we're in that weird radio area where we don't have enough time for you to put my brain back in its skull cavity. But when we come back, I definitely want to hear about that, because it's kind of amazing. It's cool.
Next
It's
level.
cool.
That is next level stuff. Well, okay. When we come back, we're gonna. It's almost like our secret storage, which we haven't had a secret storage show in a little while. We will. It's gonna happen again. All right. When we come back, we're gonna get behind the granite. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We are brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom now open in Granger, right next to C. Kramer Interiors, and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about countertops and granite, and we were talking about the waterfall look. Not the Kentucky waterfall look. It's something totally different. Which, Chris, do you know what a Kentucky waterfall is?
I do not.
It's a mullet. When somebody has a mullet, they refer to it as a Kentucky.
I thought that was when you poured bourbon over yourself.
It's a Kentucky shower.
Oh, okay.
You imagine pouring bourbon all over yourself?
No.
The burn. The burn.
Yeah, good and clean.
Could you see Chris with a mullet? I could see you with a mullet. Like back in the day.
He would rock
No,
that.
I never had a
he would
mullet.
rock
When you're in your El Camino.
No. Never had a mullet. Nope.
You appreciate a good mullet, though, don't you? It's a work of art when you see one done right.
Oh, yeah.
Take your word for it.
A nice dirty mullet.
Nice, yeah. Sans shower.
Mine was attached to the ball cap.
I can see that. We got to get one of those visors with the hair on there.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay, so we're talking about countertops, granite countertops, the waterfall style, which is like when it goes all the way to the ground. And then, as Chris normally does, Joel, he rocks our world.
He opens our world even further.
So you were talking about, you just
Full height backsplash.
full height backsplash. Doesn't have to be just granite. It can be any black backsplash, I'm assuming.
No, this has
to be stone,
this
right?
has to be a stone. This is the same counter material, or same material as the countertop.
So tell us what you're talking about.
It's we're working on a project now where the client saw this online or on one of the designers that they follow from someplace else in the country, and it's a sliding panel made of the same countertop material. So
is it like a barn door?
No. It actually, when it closes, it looks like full height backsplash, but it slides, and there's additional storage behind.
Under cabinets?
And it's in the wall.
No, but would there be cabinets on top of there's still
there's
cabinets?
still but this granite slides
between the cabinet and the countertop. That slides, and you can't really see that.
How does it bypass the other?
That's the engineering part that we've been kind of dealing with, because
there's got to be some sort of
you've got weight to deal with,
right?
You've got the bypass to deal with. There's an engineering
because it needs to come. Because once it comes closed, you want it flush then with the rest.
I was trying to find a picture, but
is that right? I mean, it ends up flush, or is it?
I think it sits out.
Okay.
I think.
So it sits out like
away
a
from
foot?
No, I mean, it just sits on the thickness of the material. So it's just outside of.
Yeah, so it's like 1.25 inches. but it slides back and forth.
Right. Yeah, it sounds cool.
It is cool. I mean, if you see it, but the engineering to get the right mechanism that it doesn't break or because of the weight of this.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of weight there.
Granted, is
and you want it to slide
easily.
Right.
Yeah. Well, because
but you also want it when it's closing to not just slam.
Right. But we did find a company, I think they're out of Kansas, that came up with
Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't get kill out of Kansas.
So
Dust in the wind.
I think they were in Kansas City. But anyway, they developed a system. So, and they'll, sell us the system, but it's not inexpensive.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, I would think because there has to be some sort of braking system so that this heavy piece doesn't slam and then chip.
I almost wanted on, I would think, ball bearing or something.
You'd want, I don't know how. That is really fascinating.
Right. And you only have so much interior wall to work with, right? I mean,
I guess, it depends. I mean, if you're planning for it, you can frame it deeper.
Right.
Probably 2x6 or more if you wanted to, really. You could frame it to accommodate the storage that you want.
That'd be
Which I'm assuming you have to do as part of the plan. And that's all part of the planning.
Right. You prepare for it. Wouldn't it be cool if you had like a sunken coffee machine, right? It comes out and then the wall behind it is where all your mugs are like hidden back there. You could that would be kind of neat. I looking at what it takes to just sink something in your counter when you pull back the curtain to what you have to think about.
Oh, there's a whole lot of mechanism that goes into that.
Power and then it's I think that's more common than ever, right? Having sunken things that come out of the countertop.
No.
I thought that was
that is, it's more work than what it's worth, in my opinion. When you can put stuff more often than not, a built-in coffee maker in a pantry or something like that, rather than.
Oh,
I was just going to say the same thing. That's usually when somebody has a pantry and all those things go in the pantry.
Right.
So it's not sitting on your counter.
And they're actually using it in the pantry?
Yes.
But the pantry's a room. It's a room. It's a real pantry.
It's an area.
Yeah. Or, they make some really nice coffee makers or that will do any kind of coffee that you want that can be put into like a pantry cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a built-in oven.
Oh, I see. And that's okay.
I mean, we've done that way more than anything that comes out of the countertop. Usually, typically when people talk about something that's coming up from a base, it's most of the time people are suggesting a TV.
Right. Okay.
And even that is
now look.
But the way things change, technology changes, appliances change. I mean,
to do that.
Yeah, you're kind of married to what you put in there. And if you want something different, what are you going to do?
Oh, that broke. I needed to get a new one. Oh, darn, it doesn't fit my opening.
Yeah, good luck.
Or that broke. I need to get a new one. Oh, it's actually more expensive to fix.
Or my lift broke.
That's what I was thinking you were going to say. The lift, that's a big deal. There is a cool, maybe just because I'm Italian and we use this particular implement a lot.
Noodle maker?
Yeah, but I'm talking about
I was wondering where you're going to go.
Yeah.
No, the
Italian.
the heavy mixers.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
because you need that horsepower when you're making pastas and doughs. You can't have a weak mixer.
No.
So this thing is heavy. Getting that thing put away and back out.
Yeah.
My aunts back home, in the motherland, Italy. No, I'm just kidding. Just New Jersey. But all of them now have assisted. I don't know what you would call it, but these things are on a swing arm.
Yeah.
They open the cabinet and it swings out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a couple of them have something cool where it actually swings out onto the counter. It goes out and then back over the counter. And then Aunt Tilly has one that is just, it comes out and you work on it.
She's actually Aunt Tilly.
Yeah, I got
That's
all the
awesome.
aunts. I got all the
That's
aunts.
awesome.
I got Clara, Tilly, Lucy, you name it. Edith. I love them all. Aunt May.
Hi, Aunt May.
You have
She
a bee?
can't hear you.
You have a bee?
A what?
Aunt
B? Oh yeah.
Oh man, you got
She just
him off.
passed away.
Oh.
She just passed. Well, in Italian New Jersey time, that means it was like 2 years ago. But to me, it was like yesterday. She's my mom's best friend, actually. Aunt B. A great sauce. But some swing out over the counter, and then some just come out, and you use it on what it swings out on. And I recall they have like a foot or a leg, comes out, and then there's a leg that's.
I mean, some of the hardware is made to not. I mean, it will just hold it.
Hold it, right? So you can just work on it on that.
It's good
system.
Like seriously beefy.
These are not young people. I'm sure this has been it's been in Tilly's kitchen for
they've been
20 years.
Yeah, they've been around
a long time. So I'm sure they've innovated since she put it in. But she wouldn't be able to operate.
Those things weigh a ton.
Oh my goodness! And then if you don't latch them, they open. Because they go up and down, and then you go to pick that thing up and you catch your finger. Believe me, not a good look. It's not good. But we're not the only culture. I'm saying Italians. Like that's a pretty useful innovation that kind of should become a little bit more mainstream. It might be more common than I even think.
It's for people that actually bake and do that stuff. Yeah, it is.
They even have systems now in the upper cabinets that you can pull down, and so like in a laundry room, if you can't reach your soap or whatever, you can put it on this system, and you just pull it down, and it's accessible at counter height.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Because I'm not that tall.
Neither am I.
My wife's not that tall, and that stuff over the we have the grabby things. We're like stocking shelves at the supermarket type thing. Like, there's no way we're getting that down. When we come back, let's talk. Well, we can start talking about countertops at any time.
Yeah,
I know. Whatever. We digress. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about countertops, or we did our usual thing where we said we were going to talk about countertops, and then we talked about like innovations around the kitchen that are kind of cool, like a hidden backdrop. But getting back to where we started with that, have you seen countertop being the same as backsplash?
Yeah,
you have. Is that common? It seems.
I would not necessarily common, but it's out. It's been done quite a few times.
It's dramatic.
Yeah,
dramatic looking. Like it's. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, but I guess Joel, how do you? That seems heavy. I don't know. It just seems. How do you? Do you have to do something different if you're putting that? Is it the same as putting tile? Is it the same when you're installing that?
No, it's heavy. It comes out. I mean. It's not like installing tile.
How do you assure that thing isn't going to just break your arm someday, like fall off? That's all I can.
It's not going anywhere.
No, typically it's fit pretty tight to your cabinet. So if at a certain angle, it's going to wedge itself if it was to fall off. But with the adhesives, it's not going anywhere.
Right. You don't have to put a different wall behind. Like you don't.
You're putting it on drywall.
And that'll be good enough.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's all I could think about was like, that's going to just tear right through the drywall.
Nope. It's secure. As a matter of fact, I would think of what it would take to take it off.
It would destroy the drywall behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the weight, I bet, helps it stay too. Like, because it's just gravity's pulling downward harder than it's pulling outward. Where, I guess It is very cool looking. The two that I saw, one was white, and they matched the grain, which is all started. Like on the waterfall, matching the grain seemed easy when I was watching them install the backdrop and matching the grain. And that's where I was like, we got to talk about this because it looked complicated.
Right.
Because in my mind, I'm not so sure how the granite slab is shaped, like how much time it would take to find enough granite to do that. Is there granite the size of this room?
No.
I mean,
the slab is no.
The quarry, yeah, they don't cut slabs are what, like
120 inches.
Yeah, they're like 5 by 10 or.
Well, that's what I mean. In this house, they were matching it, so I'm like, this is a lot.
Was it actual granite, or did they use quartz? I think quartz would be easier.
They did one light that was clearly real granite, like it was very much.
What they'll do,
granite.
I mean, like
But
you
one
can
was
get
quartz.
like sister slabs, basically like slab that are cut like in a row. And so the grain is not going to, it's going to be very, very similar and not because it's working its way through.
Oh, I see. So it's not
quarry.
necessarily the same slab, but it was next to it.
Right,
The next
yeah.
cut.
It's
So
like-
you can get slabs that are, and then it will match pretty closely, close enough that you can piece it where you're not really going to be able to tell.
I think of it as a loaf of bread. You got a big chunk of granite, and then they slice it.
Yeah.
So you just take in the next slice.
Right. The quarries are amazing if you see pictures of those things.
Yeah. So as you're picking out because when when you're picking out granite, you really need to go to the hand select your slabs wherever you're getting the material from.
What's a hand selector?
That means you go and you physically look at each slab that you're buying
From the place, the supplier.
What do you call those places?
Wholesale?
The granite
It's a supplier.
shops. Like there's places, a lot of them in Chicago,
Yeah.
Grand Rapids, Indianapolis, where you can
Detroit.
where you can physically go and
the sisters are there. Like you can see the sisters.
We've got three slabs from the same cut.
Cool.
And they'll actually even pull them out for you they'll crane it out so you can see the three that you're getting.
Interesting.
But if you don't
With natural stone that you really need.
Not so much quartz, not
really.
But you really need to see what you're getting because it's if you're looking at a little sample, chances are that's not what you're getting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It won't match what you're.
If the sample's 3 months old, it doesn't look anything like what's there now.
Correct. And you'll be very disappointed.
And you're just getting a little corner of something, even if it's a 2 by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the heart of the granite? Like you want to see the heart of the granite, not the edge, right? Is that what you're like?
Yeah, you want to see the whole slab because maybe that has a very unique grain pattern. And as you're looking at that slab, you're going, I want this to be center of my island. I want this so everybody can see it.
Right.
And that's the beauty of the natural stone. And then quartz, though, you can kind of get what you want.
I mean, you can, but typically quartz is like almost like a repeating pattern.
Very consistent.
Yeah.
It rarely varies.
And is there such thing as custom quartz then? Like, can you say, I want this? And they'll.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Everything just takes money. I mean, if you want to buy it.
There are places that you can have stuff. I mean, I've seen like an alligator. It look like an alligator skin.
Interesting.
Like a print. One that was just super disgusting. Somebody had like Ohio State. Like
it was hard to eat off that. Like very hard. So I mean, this is going to be a dumb question, but is there a universal pattern then? I mean, sure, there's more than one quartz company out there. Is there is there like a universal pattern that all these companies just kind of copy? Or if I go to a different company, do they have a different set of faux granite?
I wouldn't say that there's necessarily a standard, but they're all going to have a similar look.
Yeah.
The
veining patterns might be different, but it's all similar.
Very similar. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if you go to this company in Idaho, they have this style.
Not in quartz.
So basically, they just know what granite looks like in general, and then
It's basically what they're imitating is marble more than they are imitating granite.
But I think it's really cool the way they're like incorporating like copper and black, or like even like a blue, like a gunmetal. That's really neat. And I don't know, is that faddy? Is that like a fad to you, or do you feel like if you were to?
Everything's a fad when you think about it.
I guess so.
Well, I mean, I was off air. I was talking about like watching the old this old house from 15 years ago yesterday, and the granite that they were putting, and it was natural stone granite, but it was at that point, I'd forgotten about this, but at that point in time, people were staying away from like real like veining, and they wanted stuff that was more neutral and very consistent throughout, like a lot more stuff with like flex in it rather than graining.
So they wanted plain, like
very plain. And so yeah, everything's fatty because that's natural stone.
Everything
but it's different than what people are gravitating to now.
Everything's a trend. Everything tends to be a trend. So like right now, the Carrara marble look that's popular in quartz, you see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's eventually something else will come out and take its place. Yeah. And then so in 10 years, we'll be looking back going, oh, that's kind of dated.
Yeah.
Even though we think now it's completely timeless and classic.
Right. It's really interesting to look back. What's the oldest? When did granite start becoming so
80s?
popular? Is it 80s?
And it was only for those who had the money to afford it. Now it's pretty common.
Right.
I'm trying to think of.
It was a luxury.
I don't recall growing up and seeing granite at all. Like
no,
at all.
Formica,
right? That was it. And boy, and that Formica lasted like crazy too, man. That wasn't like
It
used to. Now, seems a little.
My brother has wood,
like
countertops,
like butcher block type thing, or
not butcher block, but wood. He has wood countertops.
Oh my best friend has wood too. It's cool.
Yeah.
But
man,
you bring a knife near that, I think you'll chop your hand off. He doesn't want any work being done over there because I think the consequences if you accidentally slice through that are.
Well, if you do it right, it shouldn't be an issue.
How do you make it? I mean, you can't. I mean, it's soft. If you miss with a knife, you're.
If you're gonna do wood, it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of like doing marble. You want it to patina.
You want to have some of that stuff on there,
and that's kind of what. And then because he's a cook, he likes to cook, so he doesn't have a problem.
He's just cutting on it, right? Yeah. But it's not their whole kitchen. It's just the accent. It's like over here.
Oh.
They have granite. As a matter of fact, they have a waterfall. Now that I think about it. But they have granite and built, like you wouldn't want to work there anyway. Also, they're very tall people, and I'm very uncomfortable working in that kitchen. Just for the record. It's like easy 4 inches taller than normal height.
Really?
Anyway, yeah. But they got to be comfortable in their own house.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But I digress. When we come back, I want to know where granite goes when you're not using it. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors, and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about countertops, which means inevitably you're talking about granite. I mean, that's still the standard. No?
Countertops?
Yeah.
Gosh, no. Just granite?
Well, I said inevitably we talk about granite.
Stone.
Stone.
What do you mean stone? Isn't granite stone?
There's more than
just granite.
Yeah, there's more than granite.
I've never seen a stone countertop. This guy. This guy over here is writing jokes right here, right in front of us. It's like a metamorphosis. There he was. No jokes and now jokes.
Yeah.
No jokes, now jokes. No. When you said stone, though, what do you mean?
One of the coolest countertops I've ever seen was a soapstone. Now that's soft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really flipping cool.
Is soapstone the stone that floats?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
Sorry,
I've never
didn't mean
tried.
to sidetrack us. And we're back. Soapstone. So how did they have to seal it, right? I mean,
You have to oil it
Yeah.
if you want it to stay black or turn black.
Right.
Otherwise, it's kind of a gray.
if you oil it, it turns black.
Mm-hmm. And oiling it's how you take the scratches and stuff out.
Is that more of an accent countertop?
The one I saw was
Yeah,
it was the countertop.
we've done it. People who have soapstone specifically request it.
Yes.
Because they know about it.
They know about
Where
it.
do you find soapstone?
Anywhere,
Any countertop
any
place.
any countertop place,
They can. Yeah, they'll.
they can get it.
Source
they can source it.
Interesting.
It's at the highest price point.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
That's the highest price point. More than
one of the highest price points. There's other things that are higher, but it's
Well, now you've intrigued me. What's more expensive than
agate. You know the agate.
Agate?
Mm-hmm. They're
not from-
semi-precious. They're
Oh,
semi-precious.
agate, like on like rings or
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're about that big,
yeah.
and they're just kind of what
Which was like
I-
4 inches, 5 inches round.
5 or
What he was
6
showing.
inches round. Yeah, but they're I don't want to say they're laminated, but they're put together in a slab, and there's purples and blues and greens, and those are
What would you? That would be an accent, right?
that's you can backlight them,
Mm.
and like for a bar or something of that
Yeah.
nature, they're really, but those are considered semi-precious.
And but they're tiled together, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, like what do you this is another dumb question. So if you're doing agate, what's the mortar? What is it?
There
a
is no
different-
mortar.
It's they're put together in with like an epoxy.
Yes.
Not it's more of a quartz type application,
Yeah.
but you're using a semi-precious stone in it.
Okay. So all right. That would be more expensive. I can see that.
those are really expensive.
And then
Like onyx,
well,
Another
yeah.
one.
Yeah, onyx.
which is absolutely gorgeous and can be backlit, so you can use it for a bar, top of a bar.
What do you mean it can't everything be backlit?
No, not everything has the like
Translucent?
most. Yeah, not everything is translucent. Very few are actually.
Wait a minute. Oh, so I just thought you meant inlaying lights in it. You mean you could actually put a light behind it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it'll
Glow.
show
Give it
through
a
on
really beautiful glow. That's the agate type of. That's what you use that for. Like maybe in the front of a bar.
So it's kind of translucent. I didn't know onyx was translucent.
Yeah, it's pretty. It really is pretty.
It's got to be expensive because onyx is not.
Onyx
Yeah.
is not cheap.
And does it come in a slab then as well?
Yes,
Like you get a slab of 120 inch by
they typically are smaller.
Yeah,
because of the way that it's mined or the way it's formed.
quarried.
Those are agate.
Oh, I see. Okay, you kind of epoxy. They
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that's cool.
And those are backlit.
That's a lot of. There's a lot going on there. What it
They're
looks like-
they're very
let me-
strong.
Let me explain what it kind of looks like. It looks like a jar of jelly beans. And
Yeah.
really,
All one color though.
all one color, but very close to one color.
Yeah.
And then, you wouldn't want a whole countertop like
No,
because that might
This-
be a little.
It would
This
be
is an
very
accent.
busy.
This
Yeah.
is an
It'd be
accent.
very busy.
like-
is that somebody's wall or is that a showroom?
That's a showroom
Okay, I
wall.
was like, wow, that's like that looks like a game show.
Like an out.
But like,
Yeah.
let's say you have a bar and you want this is the front of your bar and you want to backlight it. I've seen that application, especially in a commercial space. That can be done. I've seen it in residential too, but it's usually as an accent.
It's
slab.
really cool. How expensive are we talking about?
Oof.
Wow, I got an oof.
No, I'm trying to remember last time. This has been years ago, but it was like 20,000 for a slab. That
That
I
was
think-
years ago.
yeah, I think it's come down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that kind of blew me
It's
away.
only like
That's-
18 now.
That's a big number.
It is.
I mean, that's a
That's why
really
we
big
didn't sell
number.
it.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to buy a slab though. I mean, if you're just
You do.
do?
It's very rare that you're going to find a
remnant.
remnant.
Of, There's marble's pretty remarkable because there's 1,000-year-old marble.
Yeah.
In Greece and in the Mediterranean that.
Yep.
And we're so afraid to use it here, and it's like it's been around for centuries.
I mean, there's marble pillars.
Yes.
Yeah.
That are still standing from millennium.
Earthquakes and wars and
3,500 years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty. It is kind of nuts that you're not.
And we're like, oh, can't put that in. It's gonna scratch.
Well, I think some people are like, I can't put that in because it's going to be my whole kitchen budget.
No, actually, marble's not
terrible.
Really?
Mm-mm.
It's
in comparison.
Well, I guess when you're comparing it to onyx, you're right. Like with,
or even most granites, marble's still less.
Really, you just have to be willing to let this living thing live.
Exactly. Don't be afraid of it. I'd
love to do it on our island. I'm gonna wait until my kids are a little older.
But would you get like a ring right away if like you put?
You can if you put anything acidic will stain it, etch it. So you avoid acidic,
like cutting a lime on it or something.
Juice, tomatoes.
Right. Yeah, it really is. There's enough acid. People don't realize like that's real acid. I mean, it does acid things. A tomato's got acid in it. A lime
spray in a bathroom.
Oh, I was like, man,
not in the kitchen.
Yeah. Was that when you're making like a really good dish? You're like, I want to preserve the look.
Yeah.
You just throw a little VO5 over it.
Yeah.
You're just like, this burger's going to look like the day it was made. Not going to digest very well, but that's hairspray in a bathroom. People don't really, but you can make a really super slippery floor too doing that. So just, I'm not sure hairspray is a thing anymore.
I have no idea.
I don't.
Obviously,
not like your VO5. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could get VO5
back in the day when they were.
Is that still made?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just remember like Dippity Doo.
We're all Dippity Doo.
That was the
can
gel.
I just tell you,
that's before me.
It is before me.
Dippity Doo?
Yo, come on!
Oh my word! It's a gel that that they would.
Yeah, they do the pompadour.
Yes, they wear the curlers. They put that, and they dip.
There are people, middle-aged people, are like, "What's a pompadour?"
More than half. What's Dippity Doo?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I can still remember as green. And
what better time to end the show than on a Dippity Doo? Thank you so much for listening. This has been Measure Twice.
Podcasts by Federated Media.